got some bad news and some good news. I really like photos. I like taking photos. I like looking at photos. They're quiet, they're peaceful, but they also often remind you of an emotion or of something that happened in the past, a memory. I gotta leave Instagram. Instagram is just, it's a mess. It's not a place to share photos anymore. It's full of videos. It's all about getting eyeballs on your thing, and it's all moving. It's all busy. It's all text and things I don't want to see being pushed in my face, and it's all moving, and it's all people stealing each other's things and resharing them as if they're their own, and DM for attribution. It's just miserable. I quit. Been on Instagram for 7, 8 years, and I've had enough. I'm leaving. For many of you, you won't care because you don't follow me on Instagram. And that's one of the nice things about Instagram, is being able to follow people, right? Follow people that you're interested in, but it's so lost in everything else. That's gone as well. You might have seen how a lot of Twitter users are moving from Twitter to things called Blue Sky and Mastodon. And these are, what are they called? Federated social networks. Instead of this being a social network being owned by one company and controlled by one company, this is open source software that can be put on your own server, lots of different servers, and they all link. So there's no single owner, and all of these different networks overlap. So you can be on one network and also see the posts from another network. You can do the same thing with photos. It's called PixelFed. Federated social network of pixels, pictures. It's actually been around for quite a long time, but it's starting to get a little bit more popular because other people feel similarly about Instagram. It's not what it used to be. Okay, here comes the good news, right? I've created 2 PixelFed accounts. One has got all my photos from Instagram moved in there, so they still exist, and this is where I will be putting new photos, as I have been doing there. And I've created a second PixelFed account where I'm going to test you. Here I'm going to take nice photos in the lab, because I quite like taking nice photos of anatomical models and stuff, and then I'm going to stick an ugly green arrow on it, and I'm going to ask you a question about it. So I teach a lot, and the normal process of teaching is to teach and test and teach and test and so on. And I used to do this back when Google had a social network. What was that called? Circles? Google? There were circles. Google, maybe it was called Google Circles. Anyway, I liked that one because I could make spotter questions. So you have a physical object, you stick a pin in it, and you ask a question about it. Identify the structure indicated by the pin. Describe one loss of function if the nerve was severed at the site indicated by the pin. Describe one function of the muscle indicated by the pin. Things like that, right? That's the classic way of assessing anatomy. But I like the Google circles because I could make the questions and then just put my students in a circle, and they would be the only ones that saw it. Google killed that because, of course, they did. And I'm starting it up again because I've always meant to, but Instagram has been such a mess. I never really wanted to. PixelFed feels quiet, it feels older, it feels like the web I grew up with, or rather the web that grew up with me. There aren't so many people on PixelFed, and that's fine. I don't share photos because I need thousands of people to see my photos. I share photos because I like to share photos. I produce things for the web. I create the content on the web, like these videos, right? Where do you think these videos came from? It's because I like taking photos, right? I like playing with cameras. And we're going back to that. I get to see other people's photos, and I'm starting from 0. I have 0 followers, and I'm following 0 people. The fediverse, it gets called the fediverse. It puts people off because it seems a little bit more complicated. There are multiple servers around the world, and you pick a server. Doesn't have to be the biggest. It can be one in your country rather than in another country that maybe is not favourable to you. You pick a server, you create an account on that server, and then what? Well, you can see posts that are just on that server, or you can see posts that are everywhere in the world, and different, like PixelWeb and Mastodon and Blue Sky can all overlap in the fediverse. So it seems complicated, but once you've set up the account, it just works as you'd expect it to work. Hundreds of thousands of people are doing this, so it's obviously doable, right? And you guys are smart. You might not want to set up an account, and that's absolutely fine. You don't need to. You can see all this through a web browser without having to have an account or anything like that. I'm going to make links on my website. My website is samwebster.net. I'm sure I've written that down on my YouTube channel a bit. Got links up the top up here. It hasn't got an icon yet, but you click on the linky icon and it takes you to that account. I'll make another one for the samwebsteranatomy questions case. You don't have to follow me. You can just go to the web page and have a look. And I will regularly post questions. Describe a function of the structure indicated by the arrow. Students keep getting this question wrong. I'm prompted by things I know students find difficult, but then I've also got the obvious. So just as I did last time, this will grow and grow and grow. Like everything I do on the web, consistent production of stuff means you develop a big bank of things which lots of people find useful. So that's what I'm going to do. So the downside is I'm leaving Instagram. The upside is you get a collection of anatomy spotter questions if you want them. Of course, this is all free. It's all free. Not only is there more than one app for looking at photos on PixelFed, and of course they're free, but there are iPad apps. Instagram never made an iPad app. It's very nice. So I'm trying out two different apps. One has got my anatomy questions account, and one has got my personal account to see how I go, because they're both free, which means I won't be needing you anymore. I will update Instagram with a post to say this is where I've gone. So sure, it's small and it's quiet and the people I follow aren't there, but hey, I could never find them on Instagram anyway, so I can get back to just looking at the stuff that's important.